Hi everyone, welcome to the first video using the products from the Advent Calendar by Madam Glam. It is a 2023 limited edition as it says on the box, but I'm going to move the box out of the way because I've tried to set this up so that the ring light isn't reflecting in the box, but I can't seem to figure out a configuration or a way to dull the brightness of the reflection. So this is going to go over here, and I'm just going to pull out the products that we are using today, which is box 1. And box 1, as you saw in the intro, is a full size of our Soak Off base gel. So it's a little difficult to do a video just using the base coat because base coat is base coat, and I use Madam Glam in every video. So I'm just going to do a nail design for the holiday season, for the seasonal season. It's winter or heading into winter in most states in the country right now, and in the northern hemisphere. So we're going to do something seasonal. So I think I'm going to do a snowflake motif in this video, and I'm going to do a vertical ombre using 2 shades of Madam Glam. This one is Raindrop and Roadtrip. And then I'm going to use the Holographic Cat-Eye to do an overlay, and then the snowflakes on top. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm using one of my older bottles of base coat just to finish it off. I don't want to open the new one until I finish this one, and we'll see how much we can get out of it. So Madam Glam's base coats are really easy to use. They're on the thicker side without being unmanageable. They go over really smoothly and they self-level beautifully. I've been using Madam Glam products for going on 2 years now, and they are still my favorite. So generally speaking, when I'm doing these nail designs, I don't use base coat because it's not necessary. I just go straight in with the color, but we're going to use it for the sake of this video. And I'm going to give it a full 60-second cure. Now, most of Madam Glam's gel polishes only need a 30-second cure, but I'm not using a Madam Glam lamp, so I err on the side of caution, and I always do 60 seconds. So now when I'm doing my ombres, I like to use the bottle brush because it just works a lot easier, at least for me. I'm actually going to get a piece of paper towel to put down because I'm going to need to wipe the brush off in between, so that the color doesn't contaminate the rest of the bottle. So I'm gonna go in on the left side with one color, and then I'm going to go on the right side with the other one. And then I'm going to go down the center and blend them. I'm going to switch to the other color, rotate the nail, and do the same thing. Now don't worry if it doesn't become seamless in the first layer because you're going to do a second coat. Just remember before you put the brush back in the bottle to wipe it off. All right, I'm going to give this a cure, and then I'm going to go in for a second coat. Okay, so I've received the point at which I can't really blend it anymore without getting perpetual streaks, and that's because I'm going with an extremely light color and extremely dark color. So what would behoove me would be to mix a mid-tone color on a palette, but I'm not going to do that. Nay, instead I'm going to grab my ombre brush and I'm going to gently blend the colors as best as I can. So if you can see, I'm rotating my hand, my left hand that's holding the nail up and down, forward and backwards, and I'm moving the brush at the same time to drag the color. Now I'm just going to focus on the center, and that's pretty dang good. I do want to bring out a little bit more of the lighter tone, so I'm just going to drop a little bit more on the nail. And I'm not going to blend it because that blended it all on its own. I should have actually wiped off the brush, but that's okay. I don't think I picked up enough of the dark colors to really make a difference in the bottle. All right, so I am going to stop and cure this nail, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so now that we've got our ombre done, I'm going to go in with the magnetic gel and I'm going to pop the nail off of the stand unintentionally. All right, so let's hope that this is not too opaque to actually see the ombre that we've worked our way towards achieving, and it looks like it is still good to go. And the brilliant part of doing an overlay is that you don't see any of the streaks that may still be on the nail, which is always good. So I'm gonna put a little bit more on just to rewind, just to get as many of those magnetic crystals as possible. And then I'm going to pull one of my many magnets. The question is, what kind of design do I want to do? So traditional design is just holding it perpendicular, horizontal, parallel to the nail, and pushing the crystals in towards the center. Then you rotate the nail, go around to the tip, around the other side, and then around the back end. Of course, you can't rotate your client's or your own hand too well, so you could always just go from side to side, bottom, top, until you get it the way you like it. So I'm going to cure this, and then I want to do actually another layer over top and create a secondary pattern. All right, so I went and I put a layer of matte top coat on the nail so that I can draw with my gel paint and not have it bleed. So I'm going to grab a dotting tool and I'm going to grab a long liner and I'm going to start making our snowflakes. So I was looking at some images of snowflakes online, and the traditional ones are, I believe, 6-pointed. I just got gel polish on my nail. But I want to do something a little bit more fancy, so bear with me as I try to, that's too small, let's do the other side, as I try to replicate something that I'm looking at online. So I'm going to do this middle dot a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to go out from the center and I'm going to place 2 more dots. Then I'm going to come down and I'm going to do the same. Then I'm going to do from the sides. Are they 6-pointed or 8-pointed? 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. And then I'm going to do in between. I'm just going to do 1 dot for now on each side. And then we're going to continue. So we've got our quadrant here, and I'm not going to put any more polish on my brush. To make sure it's clean, I'm going to use the polish that's on the tip already and use that to create the branches of the snowflake. Just carefully dragging paint from one dot to the next. Good way to line it up is that when you angle your brush, the bristles of the brush will go directly through the other dot, so that you have a direct line of sight as to where you're going. So this is beautiful the way it is. It's simple, it's obviously a snowflake, but I want to do something a little bit more. Sora. Stop it, sweetie. So I'm going to take a smaller dotting tool. This is the smallest one that I have. And I'm going to place some additional dots somewhere down close to the center of the snowflake. Now I'm going to drag in the opposite direction. I'm going to drag towards the center, but I'm not going to touch the center. Just going to create these little teardrops that go towards the center of the snowflake. After I complete this portion, I am going to do a full cure just so that I don't run the risk of making a mistake and then I can't wipe the nail, because then I would have to do everything all over again. So for the last step on our snowflake, I want to create some filigree coming out of the branches themselves. So let's see. Looking at my reference. I'm going to do a test and see how it looks before I continue, because my snowflake is a little bit larger than the reference. So I created my dots, and now I'm pulling towards the stem to create leaves of a sort. I think I really like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replicate it all the way around. I'm not going to do as many on the shorter branches. And then when I come back around, I may cure in between just to make sure that I don't make any mistakes. And then I think I might add either a border or a French accent. So I'm going to do that and then I will come back. So to finish up this manicure, I'm actually going to go in with another layer of base coat. And I found that whenever I do a base coat before I go in and do a top coat, first of all, look at that reveal of that shine and that shimmer, and we've got the beautiful ombre behind it to really help it pop. But I find that the glossy top coat is the most shiny when I do a base coat first. There's just something about the reaction between the base coat and the top coat that really makes it shine. So I'm doing a thin layer. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit thicker because the snowflake pattern is a little bit raised. So I want to fully encapsulate it and get that straight light line. You can look at it in profile just so that you can see the arch and make sure there's no raised portions unless it doesn't really bug you, and then do a thin layer. But so I'm going to give this a full cure, and then I'm going to go in with the top coat, and we'll be done with our first advent calendar themed nail art design. All right, so here we have it, our finished nail. I hope you like it. I really love doing this nail. I've struggled with snowflakes in the past. They seem so simple and straightforward when I'm looking at them, and then for some reason it just never turns out right. But this one came out gorge. I absolutely love it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, if you like it with the French accents, if you think it should be a little bit wider. I do think I should have come in a little bit more on the side so that you could see it from the front, but I do love the way it looks. I love the cat eye accent and the sparkle and the ombre. So thank you so much for joining me. Please watch out for the next video. It should drop tomorrow, Advent Calendar Day 2. Please give this video a like and a subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when new videos are available. And I will see you soon. Bye.